A warm welcome to InBody's webinar on metabolism and weight management. My name is Ankita Ghag. I am a clinical dietitian with InBody India. Today, I will be taking you throughout this webinar. When we talk about weight management, the common things which we'll hear from our patients or from our clients is I'm not losing weight in spite of having a proper diet and exercise regime. I'm just following exactly what you gave me. Look at my friend, she eats more than a man, but still she is sleek. And look at me, I am just drinking a glass of water and still I am getting bloated or my weight is going on a higher side. There are so many tantrums which we hear from the client, but what is the real reason behind it? Is it really something which is not working in the diet or is it something else? If you ask me, the answer is metabolism. Talking about metabolism, there are so many things about it. Like, what role does it exactly play? Is it good for my genes, or is it there in my genes, or there are certain drugs which can just help that metabolism? What exactly it is, the calories in and calories out? They really don't understand. What is metabolism which is taking place? Is it really helping in weight management or not? So let's find it out. What exact role does metabolism play? Metabolism or metabolic rate, rather basal metabolic rate, the rate at which body does its involuntary activities such as pumping of your heart, digestion process, blinking of your eyes, making of RBCs. All these things require certain amount of energy. That energy is nothing but basal metabolic rate, the rate at which the body burns the calorie when you are at rest is known as basal metabolic rate. Metabolism is a key for weight management. There is increase in obesity if this metabolism is on a lower side. Also, taking your calories and spending those calories also depends upon your weight management over the lifetime. But why metabolism is a key factor? Why intake of the calories and expenditure of the calories is so important and based on metabolic rate. How BMR is affecting the weight management? Our body is designed in such a way that whatever we eat, excessive amount of energy will get converted into fat cells and get deposited in your body. So now if you are taking high calorie foods or if you are taking high energy, then your physical activity is very low, a sedentary lifestyle, or probably no workout at all. Such individuals tend to gain weight. But there are certain individuals who starve themselves, or probably their diet, and they just eat once or twice a day. And they do a proper workout, but still there is a weight stagnancy. Why is it so? Our body is programmed in such a way that if you are starving from prolonged period, the BMR will slow down, which means very few calories will be burned. That is the major reason why there is a weight stagnancy. So it's very essential to have small and frequent meals rather than starving from prolonged period to maintain that BMR. How to calculate this basal metabolic rate? There are standard equations, rather there are various equations, but most commonly used are Revised Harrison-Benedict BMR equation or Mifflin-St. Jeor equation. As said, there are various equations as we can see here on the screen to assess BMR, that is your daily calorie requirement throughout the day. As we all saw that all equations, rather most of the equations are using age, height and weight as a correlate. Therefore, the ranges are very much standardized. Here is a small example of a human being who is aged 35 years and having weight of so much category in LBS and height like this. So what can be the BMR of that individual is given here. As we saw, most of the equations are having certain correlates, be their height, be their age or their weight. There is certain correlates which are used. But what about the population who is having more amount of lean body mass? Will they also have a same BMR? The answer is no. Therefore, American Council of Exercise recommends that to use Cunningham equation, which will provide slight more accuracy as compared to those equations, because Cunningham's equation is dependent upon the fat-free mass. Since we are talking about fat-free mass, we need to know what are the ways to assess fat-free mass. That is DEXA scans, MRI scans, CT scans, BIA technique, air displacement plethysmography, water displacement plethysmography, or more commonly known as underwater weighing. Today we are going to emphasize on BIA technique, that is bioelectrical impedance analysis. All these techniques will give us body composition analysis into various compartments. First is two-compartmental model, whereas there is a fat mass and fat-free mass. Then there are various compartments such as it will give you the body composition at atomic level, molecular level, cellular level or functional level. We will be focusing on molecular level, wherein you get to know your minerals, proteins, fat and body water through BIA technique. Let us understand what is BIA technique.
The human body is composed of 4 main components: water, fat, protein, and minerals. Having a moderate amount of each component is important for a healthy life, and the BIA is considered as one of the most practical methods to know. BIA, bioelectrical impedance analysis. This method applies small currents throughout the body and measures the voltage to get a value called resistance, also known as impedance. The principle behind BIA is to flow electrical currents throughout the water in the body and to measure the amount of resistance the current encounters as it travels. Simply, more water will lead to lower impedance. For example, although the two men weigh the same, A has a higher amount of muscle mass than B. Since muscle cells hold more water than fat cells, electrical currents can more easily flow through A and will show a relatively smaller impedance value than B. And with this impedance data, the volume of a person's total body water is determined. So then, how did this technology come about? In 1969, an experiment was carried out to find the correlation between whole body impedance and volume of total body water. The study proved that the impedance index, height squared divided by impedance, had the highest correlation with total body water. This index is considered as the starting foundation of BIA devices. 10 years later, an American company commercialized the first impedance meter. This meter used a single frequency of 50 kHz and measured the body's impedance. Due to its simplicity and convenience, this BIA device sought attention from many researchers. However, as more researchers started using the device, they soon became skeptical of its accuracy. The device's claim to produce whole body results actually only tested the right half, and their use of a single low frequency inaccurately measured the whole body impedance. In order to compensate for its inaccuracy, scientists developed equations using empirical estimations such as age and gender. However, the equations were only specific to their test groups, and with so many additional factors to account for, no equations were applicable to all. After years of developing additional equations and incorporating empirical estimations, scholars concluded that technological improvements, rather than equations and estimations, were required to overcome its inaccuracy. BIA required technology that can provide segmental impedance and body water compartment measurements using a multi-frequency method. Then in 1996, the InBody, a body composition analyzer that took into account the limitations of conventional BIA devices, was introduced. This technology included segmental measurement, use of multi-frequency analysis, and an 8-point electrode system. With these advancements and without the use of empirical estimations, the InBody achieved 98% correlation with DEXA and an impressive reproducibility of 99%. Prior to these advancements, the conventional BIA method considered the human body as one cylinder and only offered a single whole body impedance value. However, since impedance is derived from factors such as length and area, different sizes would yield drastically different impedance values. At a closer look, our body is not one, but 5 cylinders with different lengths and widths, and therefore, measurements should be segmentally analyzed. Furthermore, when it comes to the trunk, its short and wide cylindrical shape yields a very low impedance value. The trunk only accounts for around 5% of the whole body impedance, yet it is responsible for about 50% of the whole body mass, indicating that even a small change of 1 to 2 ohms in the trunk impedance value can significantly alter the whole body lean mass. Whenever it comes to the use of multi-frequency, low frequencies tend to flow outside the cell membrane, while higher frequencies flow through both inside and outside. The use of a single low frequency is incapable of determining the water inside the cell. However, with the multi-frequency method, it is possible to accurately measure the total body water. More importantly, this method distinguishes and reveals the balance between intracellular and extracellular water. After incorporating segmental measurement and multi-frequencies, an 8-point tactile electrode system was also adapted to enhance and maintain the reproducibility of the results. More specifically, the use of separate thumb electrodes consistently fixed the starting position regardless of the way the electrodes were held. Today, with these technologies, high accuracy is achieved, and factors such as age or gender are no longer required. As a result, BIA is considered as proven technology and is being widely used for many medical and research purposes, from sports medicine to nutritional management and many more. This device's accuracy, simplicity, and convenience have been validated and published in numerous renowned medical journals and studies worldwide.
As we all saw in the molecular compartment, we get to know what is minerals, body water, protein and body fat mass. With help of that, we can derive the fat-free mass. It will appear in this manner as shown on the screen. Once we come to know the BMR, we also need to know what are the calories which are required to be burnt or which requires to be taken throughout the day with the help of total daily energy expenditure. With the help on this diagram, which is shown on the right hand side of the screen, we will come to know what is the amount of exercise or what is the activity level of the individual and how much should be the total daily energy expenditure of that individual for maintaining their weight. Once we figure out total daily energy expenditure, we also need to know what are the factors affecting or influencing BMR, that is basal metabolic rate. First is genetics. Certain people are born with faster metabolism and certain are born with slower metabolism. Talking about the gender, it's always said that men are having more amount of skeletal muscle mass as compared to women. Therefore, the people with higher muscle mass and lower body fat mass are having higher BMR. Age is also one of the major factor when it comes to BMR. After age of 20 years, BMR starts decreasing by 2 to 3% over the period of time. It's generally seen that people with higher weight or obese individuals are having higher BMI as compared to normal individuals. Height also plays a major role if the person is having higher lean mass. The people who are having higher lean mass will be having higher basal metabolic rate. If the person body fat in the individual is on a higher side, the BMR will be on a lower side. Vice versa, if the BMR will be on a lower side, that means the fat is on a higher side, and if BMR is on the higher side, the fat will be on the lower side. Having a proper balanced diet is very essential. Starving or abrupt reduction of calories leads to decrease in BMR by 30%. So therefore, it's very essential to have a balanced meal at small and frequent timings. Not to fast for prolonged period, not to starve yourself. Body temperature also plays a major role. If the body temperature is on a higher side, BMR increases by 7%. That's what happens during the fevers. The catabolism increases because the BMR is on a higher side. External temperature also plays a major role. If the temperature outside is very cold, the BMR will increase because it will try create more heat inside the body to keep you safe from the environment. Glands also play a major role in affecting the BMR, especially the thyroid gland. It is a key for regulating the metabolism of the body. If thyroxine, which is produced inside the body, is on a higher side, that means the BMR is high. That is thyrotoxicosis. In a simple words, we call it as a hyperthyroidism. If the person is having lesser amount of thyroxine, known as myxedema or hypothyroid, the BMR reduced by 30 to 40%. Apart from thyroxine, adrenaline also plays a role in BMR, but not up to the major extent. Therefore, individuals with thyroid disorders are finding it very difficult to lose their weight. Exercise plays a major role in rising the BMR by building up extra muscles. Therefore, it is very essential to do the workouts which will increase the muscles. For example, strength training, weight, or using the weights while doing HIIT workouts. Greater the exercise intensity, longer it will take to recover, which will result in higher excess post-exercise oxygen consumption, which is also an essential factor for rising the BMR. When we talk about muscle mass, researchers also studied that muscle metabolism is crucial for uplifting the BMR. Same played a role in pathogenesis of obesity. People who were having less amount of muscle mass were more prone for obesity because their BMR was on a lower side. Increase the muscle mass, that is skeletal muscle mass, is associated with BMR. There is a 95% of difference in calories with the muscle mass if the muscle mass is too less or too high in the same individual with same height, same weight and same BMI. Talking about the muscles, when we see this diagram on the screen, the individual who is having lesser amount of lean mass and higher amount of visceral fat and more amount of body fat was having lesser amount of BMI. The BMI was very low. Whereas in the individual, even though weight was on a higher side, but lean mass was on a higher side and fat mass was on a lower side, same was the visceral fat. Therefore, more amount of muscles do play a major role when it comes to BMR. There was also a research in American Journal of Clinical Nutrition which states that More the lean mass, the greater the BMR. The very easy way to boost this BMR is to increase the muscle mass by doing weight training, by doing strength training, by doing co-workouts. Calorie restriction is required but not starvation. Therefore, the small and frequent meals are advised. Talking about the excessive carbs and fats, when we are into the low calorie or calorie restrictions, see to it the calories which you are consuming are high on fiber, are complex carbs, and not a simple carbs which will get absorbed in your body very easily and get converted into fat cells. And highly fatty foods. See to it you are selecting a proper food choices. Avoid trans fats. Adequate sleep is also very essential. As we have studied in the past, if the sleep is not adequate, there is more amount of fat accumulation inside the body and people find it difficult to lose weight, and they lose their muscles very easily and gain fat very easily. Therefore, adequate sleep is also very essential for boosting your BMR. To sum it up, it's very essential to assess basal metabolic rate while the person is on weight management. Total daily energy expenditure should be measured in order to understand the calorie intake and calorie out. That is the exercise regime. It's very important to follow the proper guidelines to maintain BMR. That is, avoid fasting and feasting, avoid starvation, have small and frequent meals, see to it you are not having excess of carbs or oily foods or trans fat. Focus on fat loss and muscle gain rather than the weight loss, because if you are losing weight, what if you are losing your muscles? That is reducing your BMR. And if you are losing weight and your muscle mass is intact but fat mass is decreasing, that means you are gaining on your BMR, which is really good. So focusing on fat loss and muscle gain is essential rather than mere weight loss. Body composition will play a vital role in variation of basal metabolic rate. That is, increase in the muscle mass is directly linked to increasing your BMR. Thank you for being with us on this webinar today. If you have got any doubts or any questions regarding this webinar, you can please write it down in the comment box as you can see below. We are happy to answer you. If you have got any doubts regarding InBody devices, you can email us at india@inbody.com, or you can DM us on Insta or FB on @InBodyIndia. That's our handle name. Thank you.